9440. 4405. 944405. 1905.
All right, welcome back, crime fighters. Glad to see you all made it back safely from any 4th of July holidays and celebrations. I'm Chris Wright, along with John Garlick from the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office.
Hey, Chris.
And this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted, the program where you get to help make Calhoun County a better and safer place by helping us lock up some of the bad guys. And we'll get to that in just a second about how many we've had located this week, thanks to our viewers. But first, let's talk about how folks can potentially get involved in another way if they want to and get paid for it.
Absolutely. We have lots of openings for corrections officers at the county jail. It's a great way to get in to begin your law enforcement career. Maybe to get into to be a certified law enforcement officer, you have to pass a PT test. You have to be physically fit to do it. And maybe a lot of guys getting out of high school, gals getting out of high school and college, maybe not be in the best of shape, and they want to work their way up to it. But you also learn how to handle the people that you would deal with on the street in a confined and very difficult environment. So it's challenging, it's very rewarding, and you learn a lot of great skills that will help you on the street. So
and we have examples in the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office and other positions in Calhoun County of people who started out in corrections and at the county jail and have worked their way up into very good careers.
Oh yeah, the sheriff started in the jail. I started my career at the sheriff's office working in the jail. Most of our best deputies have started in the jail. Learn a lot of great skills. It's a great way to get your foot in the door. So we want to encourage people to come apply. You can come down and get an application at the sheriff's office. You can call us. We'll tell you how to do it. Whatever you want. Just give us a phone call and say, hey, I want to be a corrections officer, just like you.
Yeah. One other thing that we've got coming up here is this week on Thursday, I believe, we've got a civilian firearms training event.
A very popular thing that we do is every quarter we do a civilian firearms classroom. So Thursday night at the sheriff's office from 6 to 8, it's about a 2-hour class. People come down, we'll teach them all about the laws, explain what a handgun is, what it isn't, and then the fun part is Saturday, that following Saturday, we have a range. So all the people that come to the class can come out to the range, and if you don't have a pistol or a firearm, it's okay. We have some there for you to test out, and maybe you get a feel for what size you might want to have, or just learn a little bit more. So those classes are free, and Thursday, 6 o'clock this Thursday, 6 o'clock at the sheriff's office. You don't have to register or anything, just show up, and then come on Saturday after you come to the class and have fun.
Very good. All right, well, let's talk about what our viewers have done over the last week. You did not take a vacation, did you?
No, they got 5 people called, and we're up to 4,428 people brought to justice because of the citizens of Calhoun County. Even though they were shooting off fireworks and having a good time and scaring my dogs, they still called in 5 people. So we're very grateful for that.
All right, well, we've got a new lineup that we're going to be showing you here in just a couple of minutes, so hang tight here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Ralph Turley. Mr. Turley, last known to be living in Weaver, he's wanted on a bond revocation for possession of a controlled substance. And take a look at Isaac Russell. Mr. Russell, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for failure to pay on receiving stolen property first. And this is Matthew Deese. Mr. Deese, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted on a bond revocation for possession of a forged instrument third. We'd like you to take a look at David Ritchie. Mr. Ritchie, last known to be living in Oxford, he's wanted on a probation violation for possession of a controlled substance. And meet Brittany Robertson. Miss Robertson, last known to be living in Anniston, she's wanted for bond revocation on possession of a controlled substance. And last up for the first half of our lineup, Justin West. Mr. West, last known to be living in Talladega, he's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana first and possession of marijuana second. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show.
All right, we will have the second half of the lineup here shortly, but right now, John, we are joined by a couple of folks who have some very good information, very helpful and important information for a lot of our viewers.
Absolutely, and we have the Area Council on Aging right here in Anniston, Alabama, right in Calhoun County, for this huge region. This is a great resource, and we're very happy to have you here to tell us about everything you got going on.
We've got Norma Cosby and Mike Morrison. Thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
All right, so tell us about the Area Agency on Aging and what that encapsulates.
Well, the Area Agency on Aging deals with anything to do with our aging population. Of course, the services or the Area Agency started back in 1965 under the Older Americans Act under President Johnson. And most of our funding comes from the federal government, and it also comes from states. It trickles down from the federal government down to the state offices, and our funding, most of the funding comes from, normally comes from,
It comes from something.
no, it actually comes from ADSS.
Oh, okay.
The Alabama Department of Senior Services.
Okay.
We're so used to using acronyms that sometimes we just forget the names. That's what happened there.
All right, so Mike, you're dealing with helping all these senior citizens find how the services that are available for them.
Yes.
When you meet somebody, are you sizing them up immediately? Say, is this somebody who qualifies for the services I can help connect them with? You look at the gray in my beard and say, I bet I could help Chris.
Well, actually, Chris,
He was
I
looking
do.
at me more. He asked my birth date, and then he was like, "Oh, you just turned 60. You don't qualify."
Well, actually, you do.
Oh, do I?
You really do. Like I said, we have a plethora of services. Now, it's a misnomer. Now, most of our services do start if you turn 60 years of age. However, we have other services that, whether you're 55 or 45 or 35, you can qualify for services, such as our Senior RX program. And I'll let Norma talk about those programs.
All right, so Senior RX, that's the prescriptions that we need, and we keep hearing about how expensive they are and hard to get. So tell us, how can you help?
Well, the Senior RX program, it was established back in 2002. A lot of people were going to different town hall meetings in different places, and our lawmakers, they started hearing the people. They didn't have money to pay for their basic needs like shelter, food, because they had to get their prescription, so they had to make a choice. So the state legislator, they funded Senior RX program 100%. They heard the people, they saw the need, and this how this program was established.
So how do you qualify to receive this assistance? What are the guidelines on this?
When we first started, when the program was initiated back in 2002, it only helped seniors and people with disabilities. That's where the name Senior RX come from. Now it's kind of misleading because we can help anybody of any age. As long as you have a doctor, you have a chronic illness, and you don't have insurance, or you may have insurance, but it may not cover your medication. Mm-hmm. We can also help you. When people have Medicare and they get in what we call the donut hole, they're paying for their medicines maybe like $5 or $10, then all of a sudden, oh, this medicine is $100. They're in the or more. Mm-hmm. Then they're in the donut hole.
We've seen those horror stories.
Yes.
And it really is having a massive impact on so many people's lives, and I guarantee you there's somebody watching right now who has a certain prescription medicine in their cabinet, and because it's there, they don't have something that they really wanted to have in their refrigerator.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's a tough choice to have to make. And we can't fix every problem for everybody, but there are some people watching right now that if they get in contact with you, they can help resolve that issue.
That is correct. A lot of people don't even know about the program and haven't even heard about the program. So there is still a lot of people out there that's going through just what you described.
And we, I don't, if I'm somebody that needs that help, I don't have to know everything about the program.
Exactly.
I just need to know
that it is there.
It's there, and if I contact your office, then somebody's going to help guide me through this.
Exactly. And there is the process, and the main thing about it, we go through pharmaceutical companies, and we're able to access name brand medications free or at a low cost. But most of the time, most medications are free.
And then let us stress name brand, not generic, but name brand medications.
Wow. And then that's not to knock generic
Right,
medicines.
it's not to
There's a
knock.
lot of great generic medicines
Right.
out there,
Right.
but in a lot of cases, a certain medicine, people have different reactions
Exactly.
to different types of medicine, and it is very important for them to have exactly the right medicine, not just something in that category.
Right, right.
Is there a different, is it all medications, so it's not just,
Well, we can get if a test meter, to monitor people with diabetes. They're allowed to get one free test meter a year. We also get Boost, Insure, like things like that, supplemental liquids on the
I
program.
wouldn't even think about that as prescription, but it is very important for some people's health.
It's very expensive, yes.
can you get insulin too?
Yes, that's one of the main medications that
And
we
how
can
about
get.
psychotropic kind of meds?
Yes, we sure
Really?
can.
Yes, yes.
That's important for a lot of people in this county to know. We have lots of mentally ill who have to have the
them.
name brand, and sometimes they come off of it or they can't afford the other
Exactly.
the others. and
Exactly.
That's really good. We need to do more talking about
Yes,
that.
yes.
Okay.
All right, let's real quick. Let's give people right now the contact information, how they can get in touch with you, and we'll repeat this before the program's over again. But if they need to say, I need to get in touch with Norma, how do I do it?
That would be 1-800-AGE-LINE.
Age Line,
And
AGELINE.
Yes, 1-800-AGE-LINE.
Line. All right, very good. All right, this is great information, and you guys have got plenty more ready to share with us. So
Yes.
we need to take a quick break. We will be back with the second half of this week's lineup and more wonderful information for you on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up on this half is Michelle Jones. Miss Jones, last known to be living in Birmingham. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and receiving stolen property first. And meet Joseph Silva. Mr. Silva, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted on a probation violation for domestic violence first. And this is Dustin Stoddard. Mr. Stoddard, last known to be living in Talladega. He's wanted for violation of a domestic violence protection order. And please meet Shakori Cross. Mr. Cross, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana first. And have a look at Justin Smith. Mr. Smith, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to pay on theft of property third. And take a look at Quinn Brown. Mr. Brown, last known to be living in Weaver, he's wanted for a probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And last up in our lineup this week, Maurice Hawkins. Mr. Hawkins, last known to be living in Anniston, he's wanted for a probation violation on distribution of a controlled substance and possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you know the whereabouts of these folks, please give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number 256-238-1414.
We'll have the Crime Stoppers segment of the show here in just a few minutes. Also, our Crazy Criminal of the Week. But John, one of the problems that I know you and your deputies run into out in the public is you deal with a lot of people that are doing things they shouldn't do because they're not on the medicine that they should be on.
That's correct.
And sometimes that's because they think they can't afford to get that medicine, and there are some real problems out there. But as Norma's telling us, we may have a fix for a lot of those.
Yeah, that's really exciting because there are a lot of people who are taking psychotropic medications or any medications, and they can't afford them, so they come off of them, or they don't have easy enough access, and they might be homeless.
Right,
And,
exactly.
and they just can't get to, they can't afford it, and they can't get to where it is. And I guarantee you, they don't know about this program. So this is exciting.
And actually, that's been my biggest feat so far since I've started last year, is to get the word out there. More publicity about the things that we offer. I was shocked when I started to work and I started to tell people about what I did. It's like, well, I never heard of this place. How long has it been there? So on and so forth. This is right here in my own backyard.
And one of the ways that we're getting that word out, right, is through partnerships. Because a
Yes.
lot of people don't know about the Area Agency on Aging or the Senior RX program,
Right.
but they deal with organizations like Interfaith Ministries,
Yes.
who you're partnered with.
Yes, and Kathy Gaines is the Senior RX coordinator at Interfaith Ministries. April LaFollette is director there, and they have the Senior RX program for Calhoun County. We serve 10 counties, and we partner with Interfaith Ministries to serve Calhoun County. We also partner with AIDB. Deborah Jones is the coordinator for that area. She serves Talladega, Etowah County, Coosa, and Tallapoosa counties. I serve Chambers, Cherokee, Claiborne, and
You put some miles in.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so we know that we've got a lot of people that need their medication, and this is going to help them. But there's another great need that comes in to help being able to afford medication that's not provided through this program or whatever. That's having a job.
Exactly.
We got a lot of seniors that want to work and have
Exactly.
great experience and
Yes.
skills, but because they've aged a little bit, they're not finding the right place to get plugged in, but you can help with that too.
That's right. Call us at East Alabama Regional Planning. We have a program there for seniors. It's a senior employment service. Our program coordinator there, Melody, does a great job as far as matching those seniors with those job needs and their job skills. And it's for people that are 55 and above. Now, she does a great job as far as matching up the skill levels with the jobs. John mentioned earlier how he has a need for some deputies or some people to work
Corrections
in correction
officers.
officers. We have people that's retired, that's maybe ex-military or retired military, that could probably do some of those jobs. With us, we provide job coaching skills with them. We partner with them along with the agencies where we place the workers to make sure that it's a good fit. And so they're on our program, and then from there, the hope is that they will work into a full-time job or either maybe a part-time job with a host agency. And we would love to maybe foster that relationship with the Sheriff's Department.
Okay, we have full-time jobs.
Full-time jobs.
Right. Yeah, you talk about finding the right fit, and that's a big part of it, isn't it?
is.
Because so many people, the world has changed around them,
Yes.
and they don't know where they fit in anymore, and they may be sending out all these applications and resumes and doing all these things to try to get jobs, and they're, for whatever reason, they're just not putting their hook down in the right place. You help with that.
Exactly. Well, if we have any anglers out there, any fishermen, you know that you got to use the right bait to attract the right kind of fish to actually land what you need. And so that's why we're there. We help fill that void. We help them pair up their resumes and the skill levels to work with the host agencies to make sure that it's a perfect fit.
All right. This is great information. I wish we could talk all day on this because this is great stuff that people need to know. But we are running out of time. So again, how can people contact each of you if they want to find out more about this?
Well, again, as Norma said, you can contact us at 1-800-AGE line, but I'll be a little bit more brave. I will give you my office number and my direct line. It's 256-237-6741, extension 115. Or you can reach me on my cell phone at 256-441-2378.
You are a brave man. That 800 number is really easy to remember. 1-800-AGE line. That's great. Thank you so much, Norma and Mike. We appreciate you being here and all the great work you're doing.
And
Well,
thank you for having us.
All right. We will be back in just a moment. We'll have our Crime Stoppers segment of the show and our Crazy Criminal of the Week on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
And welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we ask your help on the following cases. First up, between July 7th and July 8th, an unlocked car was illegally entered by an unknown person on Collins Road in Ohatchee. A jump drive, a GPS, and a pack of cigarettes were stolen from that vehicle. And on July 7th, between the hours of 9 a.m. and 10 p.m., a mailbox located on Woodcrest Drive in Anniston was destroyed by an unknown type of explosion. And sometime on July 6th, between the hours of 10 a.m. and 1 p.m., an unknown person busted the window out of a Kia Rio and damaged the Cadillac DeVille, parked at a residence on Faith Avenue in Jacksonville. And last up in your Crime Stoppers caseload this week, on July 8th, a burglary was reported at Kirksey's Bend Road in Ohatchee. A window pane was broken and a door sustained some damage. And that's it for your Crime Stoppers cases this week. If you have any information on these cases, please Give us a call at Crime Stoppers. That number 256-238-1414. Remember, we want your information and not your name.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
John, you have any experience about going on car trips with kids in the back seat?
Yes,
It's always a pleasant experience, right?
sure.
We got a family that went down to Florida from Clarksville, Tennessee. They went to Florida on vacation and spent a few days, and they got ready to take the 450-mile drive back. And the 13-year-old and 15-year-old kids, boys, the 13-year-old stabs his brother in the arm 3 times with a pocket knife.
Great.
The police come out to investigate this situation. He says going to jail would be better than riding in the back seat with his brother.
Oh dear.
It's not funny, but it is. But every parent can relate to it.
Those poor parents.
Yeah.
Oh.
Anyway, all right. That's all the time that we've got for this week. We thank you for joining us for Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We'll be looking for you again next week, but hopefully not in the lineup or with a pocket knife in your brother's arm.